we are going to go on a journey back to discovering ourselves, growing together, and evolving together. I'm your host, Trevian. You can call me Trev, as all my friends do. I'm thrilled and excited to be sharing this very first podcast episode with you guys. It took us a while to get here, but now we're here. We're here. Yeah, we're there. Who am I? I would consider myself a person that is deeply in love with the world and every single living thing and being inside of it. My background, I am a Jamaican immigrant currently in the US and a registered nurse, a hairstylist, a life coach. Now, the first two things I mentioned, I no longer do, but I still consider myself a part of that because every single thing that you've ever done forms that beautiful human being that you are. All the knowledge that you've gained. We're multifaceted beings. You understand? Okay. No, it took me a while to start this podcast because we all go through a lot of issues whenever we have to start something new. We have our old issues of how we view ourselves popping up. We have our own limitations popping up. We have a lot of stuff popping up trying to tell us that we're not good enough or we don't deserve that or whatever the story might be. But I had to delete all of those stories and be true to myself so we can be here. But here's the truth. With that said, I'm not perfect. I'm certainly not here to preach. I'm human, just like you, navigating the ups and downs of this life. Why I'm here. My why is simple. I hope that with this podcast to reach the masses, empower people, evoke thought, and definitely sharing unpopular ideas that can help us to grow and evolve through these very extremely challenging times. Throughout my journey, I've learned that growth tends to happen whenever we step outside of our comfort zone and face uncomfortable truths within ourselves. I grew up in a rural town in Jamaica. Yeah. So to say a little bit about my who I am, a little bit more about who I am. Now that we're talking about discomforts and getting out of our comfort zone. I grew up in a very rural town in Jamaica. Um, well, it's not extremely rural, if you ask most people. I got pregnant at 16 as I was about to graduate high school, actually. And if you know how that go. The moment something like that happened to you, most people write you off. You're not gonna graduate. Nothing good will come off you, and all of that stuff. Yeah, it works. But I left high school with 8 CXC subjects, and apparently that's all I needed to make it into university to become a registered nurse, which I graduated at the age of 22 because I started university at 17. I came to the US. I started my business as a hairstylist, and I went back to school to become a certified life coach. Currently, as I am doing this first episode, I'm living in a bus. It's a school bus. It's a very beautiful school bus. Chasing sunsets across the US. But I say all of that to say it's not about who I am, but why I am here. Please don't focus on the messenger so much so that you miss the message. I said all of that. I said all of that because we tend to have more respect for people based off what they have done. And it's not only about what you've done, but more so about who you are, who you've become. My authority didn't come from the knowledge I gained. I've always had that. I've always been knowledgeable. I would have always known something as a child and say it, and then I would get into trouble because it's not a popular opinion. I've had to shrink my thoughts and my beliefs to fit into frames that made people feel more comfortable. But guess what? I no longer wish to do that. Now, in this era of my life where I believe that I'm standing in my truth and I'm stepping into who I truly am, I've decided that we have to let go of the idiocracy. And I think it's been going unchecked for too long. It's time for more conscious voices to be heard in society. And I'm tired of the hereheads with the loud mouths sharing their opinions about people, with people just gravitating to that level of negativity and that low vibrational thinking and being. My intention is to talk about the issues that make us as people feel uncomfortable. Yeah, the same things I have had to see and not talk about because it make other people feel uncomfortable. What I found is people want to talk about the drama, the negativity, and all of the bullshit. In doing so, ignoring all the issues that are actually impacting us on a daily basis. I refuse to just roll over, play it dead, while the powers that be dictate my life. I decided to take full control of my life and to show you that it's time to stop being distracted by things that have little to no effect on you and to shift your focus to making changes that will improve your life. And guess what? Once your life improves, others will improve too. Because slowly by changing in your life, you change your whole external reality. Check it. You find that every single time you start do certain things, you start working out, you start having more healthier habits, you find so you lose friends here and there. Because guess what? The more you change, the more things that don't resonate with you anymore fall away. We can't change anything unless we change ourselves. So all who never hearing at the back, we can't make any form of changes outside of us unless we change ourselves. And what I've come to learn is we all want to change our lives, but we want to remain the same person with the same views, the same beliefs, the same perspectives. We hold our back from changing. And that no work. So I am here to just sharing. With all of that said, let's go into today's topic. The first topic I want to talk about is self-mastery. Because as you realize, I've named my podcast Journey to Self-Mastery. And a lot of people don't even know what self-mastery is. I'm going to give you a little definition. What is self-mastery? By the book, you probably hear that it's about controlling desires and impulses. But to me, self-mastery is way more than that. It's about transcending the ego, trusting your intuition, and practicing self-discipline and deep self-awareness. And most of we not have that. And it's hard. No, because I'm on that path. I haven't mastered myself yet. I have a lot of work to do. I'm still working on myself, but I make the effort every day because I know self mastery isn't easy. It requires discipline and willingness to confront aspects of ourselves that we rather ignore while we sit down in everybody's business. You know, it calls for you to be consistent, and enough of we don't even have that because as soon as we start do something, we stop. And the consistency is what we need to learn to cultivate. We are at our greatest when we are outside our comfort zones. Think about it. I've been where I've been following the norms of regular living and not being true to myself. Just I follow everybody else. Well, I feel rephrase that because I've never really followed everybody else, but just doing what I thought was necessary to become what I considered at that time successful. It wasn't paying me as much as I thought I deserved to be paid. It wasn't giving me the feelings that I wanted. Actually, I felt worse than I feel right now, making more money than most people dream of making and making most money that most people will ever make. But I wasn't happy within myself. I wasn't being true to myself. But guess what? I'm reintroducing myself to the world as the person that I was born to be. Through this podcast, I will be helping you guys on your journey. And as we journey together, I want you to remember this. No matter where you are on your journey, I want you to know that it's never too late to start. Turn over a new leaf. Or if you feel the need, just throw the book, dash the book, and get a brand new book and just start. The self mastery journey begins with a realization that you are not where you want to be, that your life is not how you envisioned it, and that you're in desperate need of change. When you wake up and see that your life is just a drug, we're not meant to be living that way. We deserve so much more. And there's so much that can be done to make our lives way better. With that being said, I have a question for you today. What would your life look like if you were the best version of yourself? The most kindest, most forgiving, loving, most disciplined, most abundant. Because we love good things and we love enough things, which I don't know if it's the best thing to love, but yeah. What would that look like? That's your future self. No, I'm going to invite you. Take some time. Write down in details and don't spare any. Write everything. Write what you envision that person as. The amount of money they make, the things that they're doing, the things that they're into, how they look, how they smell, what they like to put on, like what they like to adorn themselves with. Okay, we like nice things, let me tell you. With all of that, I want you to save that version of yourself. Just save it. Visualize that person. Visualize them ideologies, them thoughts, how them talk, how them walk, everything about them. Because I want you to capture that. And that version of yourself, I want you to connect with them daily. Connect with them. Talk to them. Especially if you journal, while you're journaling, ask them questions. What are the steps that I can take to become more of who you are? And that's what you'd ask them. And trust me, if you be consistent and practice a little bit of self discipline, you will become that person eventually. In each episode, I will be sharing tips, insights, help us all on our journey to mastery. Today, I will leave you with these words. Our external reality is a direct reflection of what is happening within us. When we take that time out and that space to go within and clear the debris and clear the traumas, clear the negativity, and start loving ourselves and treating ourselves how we deserve to be loved and how we deserve to be treated. Yeah. I mean, no Valentine's Day come up. I not talk the little fake love when I found out hear, oh, somebody love you, but 2 minutes later they're cheating on you, or somebody love you and they don't show you that on a daily basis. They make you feel like you're not loved. If somebody make you feel not loved, they don't love you. Words are not enough. But I won't go too deep into that. I digress. Just remember this. Whenever we make positive changes within, it begins to reflect in our external life. Once you start loving yourself the way you deserve to be loved, everyone going to start loving you that, just like that. Once you start doing the stuff that you need for yourself, everyone will start doing the stuff that you want them to do for you. It all begins with love. And not just any love, deep, unconditional self love. If you start loving yourself today, and I'm not saying that you don't love yourself, all right, guys, don't come for me. You start loving yourself today and seeing yourself as you deserve to be seen. If you don't have that in you right now to even love yourself as much as you deserve for love, start small because it's always good. Once you start small and be consistent, it grow. It's like muscle. It's like when you're in the gym, you start work out. You know, just take up the biggest weights and you start lift. You just start with a little 10 pound. So I want you guys to practice it. But you see, the more you practice with that little 10 pound, the more stronger you become. You can gradually increase the weight. So start by doing small gestures for yourself. I'm not talking superficial things. You understand? Not the nails and the ear and stuff like that. It go deeper than that. Not the, oh, I'm gonna go take myself to the barber, I'm gonna go pamper myself. No, not that stuff. You know, you gotta go deeper. Start take care of yourself. The things that really, really, really matter. You are worth being loved. Even the darkest and unforgiving sides of yourself deserves deep, unconditional love. The parts of you that you hide from this world, you deserve love. Remember, you are already the version of yourself that you wish to be. The only thing holding you back are the limiting beliefs that you choose to hold on to. With that said, I invite you to join our community. If you feel led to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. There are a couple extra perks if you join the membership and stuff. Together we can all grow and evolve and master the art of living. Thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of Journey to Mastery. Until next time, keep shining me. Until next time, keep shining your light and embracing the journey. I love you from the deepest part of my soul.